Torba here, co-founder and CEO of getongab.ai. Earlier today, the dailymail.com tried to smear Gab as, some neo-Nazi website, painting us as far right and trying to push this narrative that alternative technology is evil and no good. So they also used our wrong logo. They didn't reach out to us for a comment. So we, had an email from them to call in and to, state what we wanted to state. So now I'm going to play that for you live, and you'll get to listen in, and you can go and check out the article, and you can see if it gets updated, and just what gets updated based on this recording. Enjoy.
I'm fine. How are you? Excellent. Did you want to include a response?
Yes. Absolutely.
Okay. Do you want me to dictate it, or do you want to email it to me?
We could dictate it. It's no problem. Because I have you on the line, I could just talk to you. But basically, our official response is, first and foremost, Gab is not a far-right site. We are a free speech, First Amendment, social media site defending and protecting.
I'm sorry. You're going a little bit too fast.
I'm so sorry. I apologize.
That's okay.
So sorry.
I have first and foremost, Gab is not a far-right site. We are a free speech.
Yes, we are free. Feel free to record me if you'd like to. I don't mind. We are a free speech, pro First Amendment site or social media site.
Or social media site?
Pardon?
Pro First Amendment social media site?
Yes, correct.
Okay.
And then the next thing we'd like to say very simply is, Gab completely denounces the violent acts that took place in Charlottesville, and we encourage a civil and peaceful discourse amongst our user base in the United States and globally. And then I guess the last statement would be, and there's also a follow-up. The last statement would be, Gab has multiple partners in the United States and the United Kingdom, multiple law enforcement partners in the United States.
Multiple law enforcement?
Multiple law enforcement partners.
Like the police, you mean?
Correct, absolutely.
Okay.
Both in the United States and the United Kingdom, and we work heavily in combating any illegal activity.
I have a question. What would someone have to do to get kicked off of your platform?
So we actually have a community guidelines section. For example, we do not tolerate calls to violence. We don't support child pornography. Support for terrorist organizations or the partaking of terrorism. We prohibit the sales of illegal narcotics and illegal arms, depending on jurisdiction, of course. We also very much resolutely remove spam and users that would dox people. So, leaking addresses and social security numbers, things like that, personal information. So, and we have actually removed people from Gab before. We had one user threaten to kill the president, and we removed him from the site. We've had people start...
Threatened to kill which president, by the way?
President Trump.
Okay.
We had a user with a revenge porn website. We removed them. And this individual was doxing people left and right. We had a user that threatened to, unfortunately, harm Muslims, and we banned this user because he was threatening violence. So here on Gab, we are very consistent. No violence, no terrorism. But in terms of politically incorrect speech, that should not be censored at all, ever. Full stop.
But isn't there a fine line, though, between respecting free speech and First Amendment rights and incitement to violence? In other words, what someone may refer to as free, people can have different interpretations. In other words, someone can heavily criticize, for example, Obama or any politician, and yet another person can read that and take that as a call to action that would result in, God forbid, you know what I'm saying?
I understand what you're saying. So our response is very simple. First and foremost, we side with the Supreme Court's rulings and precedents, which is very clear. Hate speech is free speech and is protected speech. Secondly, it is to one's interpretation on what constitutes, immoral speech or hateful speech or whatever. People are not children. The vast majority of the human population, I'd say over 99%, do not commit murder. They don't commit violent acts. So from our perspective, it does not make sense to restrict 99% of the population from expressing, discerning or disconcerting political views only to, out of some anxiety or paranoia that one bad apple will do something. And by the way, if that one bad apple were to do something, they would be repudiated by a community, which has happened. But the interesting thing is, and this is something I want on record, the interesting thing is, Gab has been rejected by the App Store 9 times on the basis of hate speech and mean-spirited discourse. But what is very interesting is that Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, and other platforms have had child pornography, ISIS propaganda, and terrorist materials. And these sites are all allowed on the App Store. So we're seeing that the left and big Silicon Valley giants are doing nothing more than enfranchising only their side of the spectrum. But when it comes to people who are, I guess, conservative or patriotic or nationalistic, they are being ostracized simply for having their own rights, their rights of expression. And we're calling out this hypocrisy.
Woo! That was epic.
Okay, I'll be sure to include the statement.
Wrecked.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely
feel
wrecked.
free to include my name.
Can't even say anything to that
on
one.
The record, so thank you for your time. I really appreciate it. And in the future, if the Mail ever wants to write a story or do a longer interview as you like, I would be more than happy to speak.
Oh, fantastic. Thank you. We appreciate that.
Absolutely. Thank you for your time, sir. Have a good one.
Okay. All the best. Bye-bye.
So, folks, now you have the original article that the Daily Mail originally published before reaching out to us for comment, including our old logo, which we haven't used now in months. No reach out from them for comment at all. So we got them on the phone, and there's the whole recording. So now you know our response, and we'll see what changes, if any, we see to this article. So I think what we're going to do right now is archive it in its current state and, save some screenshots to see what it looks like before and after. This is real journalism. This is what a journalist actually does. They try to find the truth, they talk to multiple sides, and they try to tell a story that is as objective and fact-based as possible. Not pushing one political ideology, one political narrative. No. Seeking truth. And I hope that you've learned some truth. Now you at least have our side and our response to this individual story. We will continue to do this. This is how you play the new media game right here, folks. Thanks for tuning in, and remember to speak freely.